Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Shots from the Bench. It's only sports talk, and of course, all opinions are both fabulous and flawed. I'm Bob Wiltman, your host. My co-host is Bob Murphy, and our producer, Greg Malinzuk, is behind the scenes, tripping over wires and trying to keep the camera straight. We're here at Gators Dockside in the beautiful downtown Brownwood section of the Villages. At Gators Dockside, they have the tastiest sports in town. We're here every Tuesday night from 6 to 7, so come on in and join us live. And if you can't join us live, you can certainly get us on the internet at www.shotsfromthebench.com. And of course, we are the only sports talk show in the Villages. And partner, I know I didn't have such a great week last week picking ball games. Maybe we want to start with baseball, though.
Let's start with baseball.
Okay.
We got baseball going on right now.
Yeah, and I haven't blown those predictions yet, but that could follow. But
well, Cleveland is. I think they're losing 2-1. But no, they're in the ball game. If they win this game, we got a World Series.
We've got somebody already participating. What's also amazing, they played very, very good competition. If they win this game, that will be 7 games out of 7 that they won in the playoffs. They won 3 in the last. They won 3-0 in the last series, and they're going to be 4-0 in this one. Well, that's going to garner some respect.
Toronto's putting up a little fight here right now.
I think that
up 2-1 so far. But
anything can happen.
You know what they used to say? I mean, it's amazing what Cleveland's done this year. It's absolutely amazing. You know, they used to say, you know what they used to say about the starting pitchers of Cleveland? They were like orphans. You know how they're like orphans?
Go ahead.
They couldn't find home.
Aww.
That's what they used to say that about the starting
that's
pitchers
not all bad.
Of Cleveland.
That's a little Henny Youngman-ish, but it's okay. I kind of like it.
You know what the Cleveland Indians fans used to sing before the bottom of the ninth?
All right.
No one knows because none of the fans would stay for the bottom of the ninth.
No, that's a good one. I kind of like that.
So I mean, that's all. I got a few more, but I'm not going to do that.
Nothing.
But anyway, this is a big change with Cleveland here.
Well, you know what? And I've been going to games at the Jake and the ballpark in Cleveland for the last 5 years. And the whole attitude has changed. Remember, they got very good there in 2011, 2012. Then they kind of disappeared again for a couple of years. Right. But I'll tell you what, this is a team to reckon with, and these good young players they have. I'll tell you what, this has been a coming out party for this Lindor, their shortstop.
Yep.
People never saw him play. They're going to remember him after this series because he is one talented baseball player.
Yes, he is. You know. This is if they were they're up 3-0
right
in the series, of course.
Yeah.
Regardless if they lose this game,
and we'll be done before this.
I think they're going to win this series. I really think if they win this series, and it looks like they could.
Yes.
Tuesday night is going to be one important night in Cleveland because first of all, they would host the World Series. They're going to host the World Series.
That's exactly right.
Because of the American League
All-Star win.
The All-Star win.
That's right.
This summer. Doesn't go by. The Cubs had a better record if the Cubs win.
Too bad.
We're assuming the Cubs are going to win, but we don't know.
But you don't know.
But listen to this. If they do win and they host Tuesday night, something incredible is going to happen within a block from that stadium. Right across the street, less than a block, right across the street.
The Cavaliers are doing something.
Quicken Loans Arena, opening night for the Cavaliers. will be hoisting to the rafters their championship banner.
Their first championship banner.
And across the street,
they'll be starting.
The Indians will be playing the first game of the World Series.
Well, you know what?
How's that for a night in Cleveland?
You know what? And I'm all for giving Cleveland their due because they've been long suffering.
I'm
really rooting for them and Chicago to put to bed one of these long-standing without a World Series things.
Yeah.
More importantly, though, that they first of all, having their football team leave the city in the middle of the night and then having nothing to show for it since that happened, you'd like to think they'd get lucky just once. When they get lucky in football, they're going to start creaming people. But right now, I can't think of a more unlucky team that I've seen in a long time.
Well, they haven't won a championship since 1948.
Is it that long?
1948, the Cleveland Indians. They won 2 World Series.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Browns. I was going to say,
no.
That's all right. No,
the Indians haven't won since 48. 1920 before that.
They had some talent. Remember Bob Feller? They had, I think Gomez. I'm trying to think. They had some Lopez. I'm sorry, Lopez. They had some They had some great players. Was Rocky Colavito on that team? I don't think so. I think that was before Rocky. But hey, good for Cleveland, and it's great for them. I'm happy they won the hoops, and certainly I'm pulling for them.
Needless to say, there's a lot riding on this game.
Heck yeah.
Going on right here.
Well, like now. I said,
and then later tonight we've got the series tied 1-1 between.
If everybody can stay up that late, that'll be great to watch.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, Chicago, I still think has got the series hand down. But boy, oh boy, they've got about 3 or 4 guys that just aren't hitting the ball out of the infield. Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to. Kershaw can make it look bad. There's no question about it. But
we got Jake the Snake going tonight.
He's pretty impressive.
Wasn't quite as impressive as last year, but still pretty formidable.
Pretty impressive, and he's pitching Rich Hill, who is a pretty gimmicky good lefty. But like I said, we'll see how it goes. I still like the Cubs and the Indians, and
these next 3 games now are in Los Angeles. So if they win this first one, they're going to feel very confident with 2 more to go in Los Angeles.
I love it. Yeah, we'll see what gives. Yeah. It's but that's like I said, baseball is really these new teams are really getting everybody fired up. So I would expect that the ratings will be pretty good, as the NFL ratings seem to be dropping a little bit.
It's so hard. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that a little bit later for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it's so hard to handicap some of these games. Right now, it's easy to handicap the Indians because they get a 3-0 lead, but really, just a matter of who gets hot and for a couple of games, and you win.
Well, you know that the Dodgers are going to get Kershaw out there at least one more time.
Yep.
But that's probably not enough.
Right.
So I like the fact that the Cubs, if you run out Lester, Arrieta, and Kendricks, I think you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Usually pretty good shape, that's right. Now, Corey Kluber, who's pitching tonight for Cleveland, I believe, against Toronto this year. He was 1-3 or something like that with a 5.5 ERA this year against Toronto.
Throw them all out.
And that's why he's losing the game so far.
Throw them out. Meaning throw out the stats.
You got to go by them sometimes.
I understand.
So, okay, is that what we're doing for baseball here right now?
To me, that wraps up baseball as far as we go. And I'll tell you what. And are we going to segue into football? Because okay, let me throw something at you.
Okay.
And I know that you probably don't condone this either, but in watching the games last week, I'm going to say this because this is why I'm really getting nauseated. And it was with what I saw Odell Beckham do.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
We've seen him do a lot in the last year.
Here's a guy who had a game for the ages. He cut 8 passes, 250 yards almost. Mm-hmm. If you can't let that stand as a testimony to who you are and what you're doing, that's fine. But then to take it and turn it into the kind of a circus clown type thing where he's doing triple jumps and proposing to football kicking nets, And I know the cameras don't know what to do. They figure, okay, let's stay on them.
Yep.
Maybe people get it. I personally get sick to my stomach. The guy's obviously, he proved it. How talented do you have to be? I mean, 200 some yards. I mean, good grief, catching footballs.
Right.
And that's not enough.
Did he get a flag for this? I didn't see the.
He almost got a flag that cost him. He got a flag for goofing around at the end, and they weren't able to take advantage of it.
Sure.
But this type of stuff, just, I know we were talking about what's fun and what's over the top. I find this guy to be kind of a clown, and I have trouble rooting for him. I think he's a talent beyond. He may have as much talent as anybody in the league.
We have certainly talked about him in previous shows, how he loses control big time. In games, becomes a distraction, really,
Well, I was just curious, I didn't know if you got a chance to see it, but like I said, as a football fan, that is the last thing in the world I want to see, is that type of stuff.
Well, this past week, Unusual had a little better record than you. Usually you're better than me.
No, I think you're mistaken. I think I was 12-3. Well, we'll find out. Maybe I'm confused.
Maybe we ought to look
I'm confused about the week.
That's right.
That's okay. We can skip over it, or you can remind me if you feel like it.
Hey, I'll tell you, last night's game, Monday night game, I think there were more flags. Every time I'm watching the game, there's a halt and play for this flag or that flag, and just like it seems, even the announcers were saying, this is ridiculous. I heard the announcers say it.
I was talking also to Greg, our producer. Yeah. If the Jets aren't trying to, if they're not playing to get their coach fired, I'm a monkey's uncle, because they sure look to me like they're.
Well, they brought in Geno.
They brought him in at the end.
Smith.
Geno Smith came in at the end.
But he came in with 8 minutes to go in the game.
The whole team had quit by the time Geno Smith came in.
He actually didn't look that bad when he was playing, but
they were
Ryan
playing
Fitzpatrick though. Ryan Fitzpatrick just keeps going lower and lower and lower.
Somebody will take him off their hands. Somebody.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, he can't even use a phone anymore. You know why? He can't find a receiver.
Holy mackerel! But I'm bummed. They're trying. This isn't bad. Yeah, I want to tell you. Holy man. No respect at all.
You can't even find a receiver.
But I'll tell you what. But just like even the Steelers or somebody's going to need a quarterback, because they're going to have a half decent team. Their quarterback. You
know why the Jets receivers can't catch one of Ryan Fitzpatrick's balls? It's over their head. It's just over their head.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure I get that, but it's not bad. Actually, but it's just.
They can't catch the ball. It's over their head.
It's not a joke. It's just truthful.
It's true and a joke. Anyway.
You can't get comedy like this anywhere.
That's why I'm not in comedy. That's why I try.
We got 1 minute.
Okay, we got 1 minute.
Okay, let's. You were.
I'll tell you what. Before second quarter, let's talk a little bit about football and. Let's talk about let's get it out of the way. Colin Kaepernick starts the game, starts at half decent, and just goes. He goes south after that, and they're going to start him again. But I'm ready for that circus to be over too.
Who cares?
So we'll see what. Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that.
I know.
So I'll tell you what. Well, we covered.
I'm glad that he. Hey.
He got his due. That's all. We had to say it. He started and.
He started. I mean, he does have some skills. He does have some skills.
I'll tell you
more
what,
than Blaine Gabbert has. He can run the ball. He had like 60 or 80 yards rushing. Or
more
something.
Exciting than that is the second quarter, which we're going to come back with right after this. We'll be back with more of Shots from the Bench right after this. We are back with the second quarter of Shots from the Bench here at Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. Gators Dockside, they have the tastiest sports in town. And so I guess we can skip over my picks last week.
No, we can't do that.
All right. It was worth a try, but I had a feeling I wasn't going to get away with some of those picks.
Quickly go over them and then try to figure out something else going on for this
that
week.
Sounds fair to me.
Looks like the Vikings are still the only undefeated team, and I have to say that.
Cream of the crop. They're looking the best.
I've been a Viking fan for 47 years, ever since I was 1 year old.
Bud Grant, I'm telling you.
And the Bucks, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks, I believe, had a bye this past week too. All right, so the first game out of the box, we both picked Denver at San Diego, and we got hurt by San Diego. Phil Rivers decided to change the story for us.
Well, but you have to admit, Denver didn't play very well offensively.
Yeah.
Trevor
Simeon's losing it a little bit.
Well, that's what I said. And but that's going to happen. It's happening to Wentz. It's happening to Wentz in Philadelphia. It hasn't happened to Prescott yet, but it will in Dallas. I mean. But, you can only get by inexperience so far, and then you're going to make some mistakes. But they're still, these guys have tons of talent, so I'm rooting for them.
Well, that was a game San Diego had to win. They were going in 1-4 to get to 2-4
just
is a big
to
deal.
Stay in that division.
Hang in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they got some help, too, because Oakland also got beat. So, they're back in Kansas City. That whole division now is up for grabs again, which is what they needed to have happen.
Yeah. So we both picked Denver in that one, which we probably would have done the same thing this week if they were
Absolutely.
San Francisco was at Buffalo, of course, with Kaepernick starting at quarterback for Blaine Gabbert. And
Buffalo's looking like they've turned the corner under Rex Ryan. We'll see. maybe they've been beaten up on some not so strong teams. I mean,
Yes.
but eventually they're going to have to play the Patriots and they're going to have to play the Dolphins. And
You're talking about Buffalo, of course.
well, yeah, they're going to have to
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
So,
they've played well lately, that's for sure.
there's no question about it.
Well,
They turned their season around. They started out.
They started with that win in Foxborough against the Patriots, 16-0 at home the Patriots at home.
That's right.
And of course Brady wasn't in the game, but that
That's all
probably
right.
would have made it a little bit of a difference.
The point is that they're back and they're playing good ball.
Yeah. And we
So-
both picked Buffalo in that game, so that was an easy one.
That was an easy one.
Jacksonville was playing at Chicago. We both picked Chicago, and we
Ooh.
both lost by 1 point.
And you know what? The Chicago should be ashamed of themselves because they were up by.
They shouldn't have done
They were
that
up
to
by
us.
9 points with
That's
like 5 minutes to go, and they took the pipe. We call that the gas pipe.
Right. The Rams were at Detroit, and we both took Detroit, and good thing we did.
Yeah. So
Because Detroit,
Detroit's
offensively, they're really playing well this year.
they're starting to gel, and they're actually giving Stafford some time.
Yep.
He still gets a little harried when he's rushed, but they've been protecting him, and he's come through for him. He's come through in spades. So good for them. I mean, that's.
And
I'm-
here's a game that you'll like to hear about. Here,
Uh-oh.
Pittsburgh at Miami. You
Ooh.
did take Miami, which I didn't understand
How
at the
about
time.
them apples? Well, it's just I
course,
think just like you never want to hear about the Mets, but the fact is Pittsburgh has a history since, and I've
Yeah.
lived there for 55 years. Of they sometimes mail it in when they have to play on the road against a weak team,
course.
and frankly, their secondary, meaning the
Yeah.
Steelers' secondary, is not
Yeah,
any good.
right.
Not
And,
any
they're- and
good.
losing Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know what time of the game he lost him.
They lost.
I don't
He
know.
was 8-6 when they lost him, and he did
Okay.
come back and play the second half, but
Right.
he accomplished nothing. So
that didn't help their cause, I'm sure.
They got
they're- sometimes
they
your
got
best-
they got
yeah.
soundly beat.
Sometimes your best defense is keeping your offense on the field. Right?
You're right.
Moving
You're
the
right.
ball down the
But
field.
he was soundly beat.
Yeah. You took, as we mentioned, you took Cincinnati at New England.
It was a
last week.
gutsy move
Very
on my
gutsy
part.
move. I couldn't believe
I
it.
thought
I was
I thought-
awestruck.
I thought they were going to pull it off.
Yeah. But
Wrong.
it was.
It was a wipeout. They
was,
didn't. Yeah.
We'll let you go on that one.
You.
And here's one you also took. Well, you're doing bad these last couple of ones here. You took. You said if Cam Newton was playing, and I didn't think he's played. Do you? I didn't even think he was going to.
I didn't think he was going to play
I was
either.
surprised when I saw the highlights and he's
So
playing.
so I throw out the pick because
Yeah.
I thought everybody assumed he was going to miss the game.
So you said if he's playing, which he did, and they lost, but it was a close game. I mean, you can't blame him.
Defensively, they just aren't a very good football
They're not the
team.
same. Not the
They
same.
really
defensive
aren't.
team.
So
And then
I-
you had. So we split up on that one.
Ah.
We both picked the Giants, which
Good.
came through at home against the Ravens.
they came through. I give them credit for that. Yeah.
And you mentioned Odell.
Well, like I said, and you know what? I'll mention him again, but just to say the guy had
Yep.
8 catches for 230 yards. How phenomenal is that?
That's right. That's right.
I'll give him his due. He played a great ball game.
I think, and then we had Cleveland going to Tennessee. We both easily picked. Now that was a close game, actually, 28-26.
And my other show, I picked Cleveland. I'll take it though.
Oh yeah, and your other show. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, you got lots of shows.
I got shows, so you can just keep changing.
Someday
around.
I'll have lots of
I
shows.
take the best of both. It's like the best ball.
I mean, are we gonna be saying in a couple of weeks are the Cleveland Browns gonna win a game this year?
Well, they're playing the Jets in 2 weeks.
Oh well then that's even Steven right there.
Anything
But,
can happen.
Okay, so then we had Philly at Washington, which was a good game.
We both took the Skins, right?
We both took Philadelphia. We did.
Well,
We did.
all right, and down we go. In
Down we go.
flames. In flames.
And here's another one that we did. KC, which is really got to keep an eye on them because they got Jamar Charles back.
I took KC, didn't I?
No.
Holy
I
heck!
watched I watched
I'm
the
getting
film.
all my picks. I'm getting them all confused.
That's how I remembered my picks by going back and watching the film.
This is the problem with filming these things.
Yeah, you can't
You
lie
can
on
go to
film.
the tape.
It's recorded. We both took Oakland at home against KC last week.
Oh gosh,
Now,
I'm
here's an
feeling
ex-
the pressure.
That's right.
On the radio show, you took Kansas City, though.
Okay,
Oh,
there.
man.
See,
he likes to do
on the
different
other
things.
show.
That weighs 500.
Because the
If he does one on one show
radio
and
people
one on the
think
other.
I'm good at this, and these folks know I'm not. And Next week it be flip-flop, so we'll see what happens. But
So Dallas, this next game was interesting. It was Dallas at Green Bay, and you took Green Bay at home. I don't blame you for
and
that.
now I firmly believe there's something wrong with Rodgers. He just doesn't look.
Well, I think their whole team is just not the same. They're defensively not the same.
No, but he's
you know.
the right. He can't throw. Jordy Nelson's not open. Nobody's open.
Right.
And if they are, he doesn't get the ball to him. There's
Right.
something funny.
He's
I don't know.
taking a lot of sacks
You're
this
going to
year.
find out there's something going on.
Yeah.
And what was it? You or Greg? Somebody told me he's only 32. I think he was like 36.
And look
Man.
at the Cowboys. I mean, that's the best offensive line in football, and they have the best runner in football right now, Ezekiel Elliott.
No question.
He's on a pace that he could hit 2,000 yards if he keeps going the way he's going.
He's
He's
playing
amazing. I can't wait.
He's playing phenomenal football. He
Being
really
a
is.
Vikings fan, I can't wait for when they come into Minnesota in a few weeks. I think it's December. I don't remember when they play them, but I know they got to play them.
Well,
I'll be watching.
I
that
hope
game.
Romo's in there because.
That's another point.
Well, everybody seems so enamored of Romo, and I know he's been with the team a long time, and he's fairly good. But I think they're crazy if they don't keep this young guy, this Prescott.
Absolutely, you're right. I
Yeah.
mean, they should not play Tony Romo now after they're 5-1.
No.
When he hasn't even had a feel for the game.
Well, we'll see
yet.
what Jones. I think Jones is going to let it slide, and plus Romo's not ready to play really just yet.
Right.
But one of these days he's gonna be healthy and want the ball.
I mean,
and if
gotta-
they're 6-1 or
Yeah.
something, I think they're crazy if they say, okay, we're disrupting our flow now.
This kid's playing. He's a star in the making, Dak Prescott. He's a star if he isn't already.
I don't heap the accolades on him, but I'll tell you what, he's obviously a talent, just like Wentz, just like who's the other guy that would start? Oh, Simeon. I mean, these guys are all going to be good quarterbacks, you can tell. But I'll tell you what, but I think the Prescott surrounded himself with really good players,
Sure.
and I think he's shown the most poise, of all of the rookie quarterbacks I've seen. Very impressive how he's played.
Sure.
Very impressive.
This next game we had the hot Atlanta Falcons going into Seattle, playing the resurgent Seattle
Resurgent Seahawks.
And I took Atlanta, and I got beat. You beat me fair and square on that one.
Well, not
26,
really, because
24.
if you see the, I'll tell you what, and that brings up an interesting topic for this. We can discuss it now before we wrap the thing. I'll tell you what, I want to get into what's obviously. I'll tell you what, how many more we got?
Just a couple from
All
last
right,
week.
let's do them. Then I'm going to segue back to that game.
We had I took you took Indianapolis at Houston.
Loser.
I took the home team.
Loser.
26-23, Houston won, and the last game was last night. We
Overtime.
both took Arizona easily over the Jets.
All right.
We
let's
knew that
go.
was coming.
All right. Tell you what, let's go back to what I was talking about. If anybody saw the Seattle game, okay, the refs blew a call at the end, a bad blown call on pass interference. And I hate when that happens for about 10 reasons. But I know where instant replay is going to go.
Atlanta had the ball. Is that what the story was?
Atlanta was throwing the ball down the field with a chance to kick a field goal, I think, and win the game.
And win the game, yeah.
And they threw a ball down on about the 15-yard line with 30 seconds left in the game to Jones. I think it was a third down play. Maybe it was even a fourth down play. And they just absolutely tackled him. And no flag. So Seattle ends up winning, and everybody will say they had the game stolen from them. And I just say they had a bad call.
Yeah.
Yes, it cost them the game. Well, who knows if the guy would have kicked the field goal or not. More importantly, though, I'm just cringing at the fact that this is going to lead now. You watch the furor about we have to now go to instant replay on pass interference calls. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. And I dread it and I hate it. There is no way to get all the calls right. No matter how many times you look at them, you can't do it. So, well, that was my take on that. So, and I'll tell you what, and I want you to respond to that. But I'll tell you what, we're already done with the first half. So, we come back to the locker room. You can prepare your speech on your take on that, and we come back with the third quarter shots from the bench. We'll look forward to talking about that and lots of other sports. So, stay tuned.
All right.
We're back. with the third quarter of Shots from the Bench. Right coming out of the locker room where we've had our heads handed to them. But once again, Bob and I will prove to be not affected at all by all the criticism that Greg, our producer, has given us.
The average person would, though.
Great
But
to
not
be.
us.
We are here again at, like I said, beautiful Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. And I wanted to hear what you had to say as we were heading into the locker room about the. What's your take on the potential elongation of games again? Because now this is going to cause a furor. If you haven't heard about it, it will become a big one. This is
What's that?
Atlanta lost the game because they got gypped on a call. And it was a pass interference call. And I'm sure it'll start out with we're only going to do it.
It wouldn't be the first one, will it?
We're only going to do it in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go, and then it's going to expand.
You can only see what they can see. The
Well,
game is moving so fast. Like you said, you can't
I agree with you.
instant replay every game, every play.
But I see that's where sports are going, and it bothers me.
Was there a challenge? They didn't throw they couldn't throw a challenge flag on that? Or they out of challenges? What was
They
going on?
challenged, and it was just
They did challenge?
there was no penalty, and they said let's go to the booth, and
And they didn't say it.
no,
Okay, so what else can you do? Nothing else you can do.
nothing's called, nothing's called.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we're
if, you
gonna
can't,
do.
if you can't see it in slow motion, how are you going to see it in real motion?
Well, my whole point is, it's
Yeah.
just going to open the door for challenge after
Okay.
challenge after challenge.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, hey, the players make mistakes, referees make mistakes.
Well,
Do you want to get it right? Yeah, I want to get it right, but I don't want to get it right for 6 hours.
Sure.
I want to get it right.
Well, I heard him on ESPN today, which is getting harder
Talking about what?
getting harder to listen to lately
Well,
with all
that's
their politics.
Tad
But
Paul,
anyway,
Tad Paul, political ESPN.
I want to watch sports and not listen to politics.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to be listen to politics. Anyway, they're talking about why the viewership is down in the NFL drastically.
I understand.
And if it was this reason or that reason, they mentioned excessive celebration, but that was like 6-7 years ago. They made that ruling, so that's not it.
I don't know if that's
it's something emotional. It happened so fast that all of a sudden, boom, they're down like 19%. In their viewership, something emotional, and they're saying, well, could it be the Kaepernick thing?
The kneeling?
I do think so.
Yeah.
I think because it's emotional. If it was officiating, or if it was the play, the type, the level of play teams are watching, or if it's fantasy football that's taken away, it wouldn't just happen so quickly. It would happen over a course of time. This happened immediately. Beginning of the year, as soon as that happened with Kaepernick.
Well,
and that's an emotional effect that has happened. A lot of people were, like as we talked before, were very, very upset that the flag was treated like that.
Well, is it wag the dog though? I mean, I agree up to a point.
Yeah.
I want to know, did they create their own Frankenstein? I mean, I personally, when a third-string quarterback decides he's going to kneel, I could care less. I'm not even paying attention.
Right.
And but somebody caught it somewhere and thought,
the camera.
Yeah.
The cameras like the point go right in on that guy. Like we could care less, right? If you take your camera off of him, we wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
But they made him. They They wanted to showcase him.
Yeah, they did.
And they did, and you know what? A lot of the viewership
He got on
people
Time Magazine's cover. He's going to get
NFL.
commercial endorsements, and that. Unfortunately, like I said, that seems to be what it's all about now.
And now these big execs for ESPN and the NFL, they're all talking about sitting down and talking about this. What's going on? You know, I mean, if they can find out. If they can take polls for politics and find out, you know, where the polls are leading, they can take a poll and find out why are you not watching. Why, if you're not watching, why? If you're not watching, why?
I'll tell you what I do know.
You know,
that the Thursday games have
that's
been
another
awful.
thing. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
First of all, and somebody mentioned this on the radio. I got to admit, and I agree with
That's
it.
right.
3 days to prepare
That's
for a
right.
ball game. I just don't think. I just don't think you can do it.
They say
and these teams are coming in. I mean, these games are stinkeroos, and I think because nobody's prepared.
Well,
nobody's prepared to play.
These guys can barely walk on day
that's
two.
What I mean. Normally, you're not back at practice sometimes till Wednesday after the game Sunday, and now these guys are preparing in a day for the next game. I just don't.
Usually by Thursday, they're just beginning to feel halfway decent, and now they got them out there playing a game.
A perfect example is I watched that the Chargers game against the Broncos. That was really not a good football game in my estimation. Not because I didn't have a dog in the fight, I didn't, but it just wasn't well played. And I thought these guys look like they're that's.
But I don't think the Thursday night game is helping the NFL.
It's not helping them either to have a Sunday night or a Monday night stinkeroo like last night, and the Sunday night games haven't been much better.
That's right.
And then there's no excuse for that. They've had chances to prepare for that. It's just that right now viewership might be down because they got caught with a bunch of bad head-to-head competitions now on the schedule. You think the team's going to be good? I mean, I'm sure they're looking forward to the New England Patriots are playing Pittsburgh next week at 4. I think it's a late afternoon game. Nobody's going to watch it. Landry Jones is going to be quarterback in the Steelers. Anybody think the Steelers are going to do any good? No, they're not going to. So they're a lot of their marquee matchups are getting.
Speaking of matchups,
getting wiped.
We got Week 7 coming up.
We
got Week 7 coming up.
Here we go. Am I allowed to pick?
We got
after last week.
Got a little music for this one.
All right, no music.
Thursday night, our favorite night to watch football.
Thursday night football. Are you ready for some football?
We got the Bears at Green Bay.
Now, excuse me. There's a perfect example. That should be a great game, and that's going to be. I mean, that's a game.
It's a division game.
It's a rivalry game, but both teams are playing poor football, and the Bears are just not any good. And the Packers.
Here's a good example. Probably Green Bay will probably win this game.
I'm going to pick.
And go to 4-2.
I'll pick Green Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to pick Green Bay.
That's an easy pick.
Am I.
But you're talking about viewership being down. Who in the world was going to want to watch that ball game?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I know.
I'm not going to watch it.
All right. Okay, leading off the Sunday games here.
I'm
real
ready.
Quick. We got the Giants are playing. They're 3-3 now.
Yeah.
After their win this weekend, they're playing at the 3-3 Rams. Who's going to win that game?
They're at the Rams?
At the Rams. That's right.
Boy, that's a really good.
LA just got lost to the
by 3.
Lions by 3.
I'm going to pick LA.
You're going to pick LA.
Yeah.
At home with the Giants. Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not afraid.
I'm glad.
I'm not afraid.
I'm glad you did that.
7 and 8 doesn't. I'm not distracted.
Very glad. I'm going to go with the New York Football Giants.
All right, I appreciate it
because I think they, are going to win after they're going to win 2 in a row. It's amazing.
I'm excited.
Okay, I've got the Saints at Kansas City. Now that's an interesting game. Saints been putting up a lot of points.
Saints been putting up points, but I think Kansas City's a better football team.
Kansas City, I'm going to agree with you there. Kansas City's got Jamar Charles back. They seem like they have their defense playing a little better.
They will get turned around, and they'll make it an interesting division.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right. The Colts are at Tennessee.
Oh boy, you know what? That's such a flat game, but I'm going to pick the Colts.
You're going to pick the Colts?
Yeah, I am going to take the Colts.
And why would you do that? You just have a feeling.
I think that they need to win this game not only to save Pagano's job, but like I said, Luck has had a decent season, but they're not getting things done.
I'm going to go ahead and go against you on that one. Tennessee at home.
You like it?
3-3 against a team that I just can't even watch.
Have no respect.
Indianapolis. Okay, here's a good one. Potentially the 5-0 Vikings at Philadelphia. They've lost a couple of games in a row.
I like the Vikings.
I like the Vikings as well.
Don't have to sell me on the Vikings.
Now, their coach Zimmer says, hey, we're 5-0. We're coming off a bye. Tells his team the right thing. You know what?
He's a good coach.
We're 0-0.
That guy.
We don't have any record. We're starting our new season, the 11-game season right now.
He's a no-nonsense coach, and I really like his approach. He's not going to let them go out and goof around.
That's right.
They'll become prepared to play.
0-0. We haven't won anything.
Yep.
The 0-6 Browns at the Bengals.
I'm going to have to say that Cincy's going to beat them. Browns are going to give them a game, but the Bengals are going to beat them.
Hey, the Browns are putting up a fight. They haven't.
I like the Browns because they are putting up fights, even though they're undermanned. When they get it turned around, they're going to be a decent team.
Here's an interesting one.
Yeah.
The 4-2 Redskins at the 3-3 Lions. That's an interesting game. That could go either way, really.
4-2 Redskins, 3-3 Lions. They're at Detroit. They're at Detroit. Okay, I'm going to say Detroit's going to win it. Yeah, I think I do. Look, and we got the peace sign from Greg. We got 2 minutes going. Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
All right.
Is that for the whole shebang?
No.
Oh, that's for
just
the
third quarter.
Okay, we can take our time here then. Oakland's playing at Jacksonville.
Oakland's playing at Jacksonville. Oakland's playing at Jacksonville. I think this is going to be a return to form for Oakland, so I'm going to take the Raiders.
They're going to take the Raiders, huh?
Yes.
They didn't look too good offensively against
Jacksonville. Didn't look great either. They're playing the Bears. I
always like
that game was a stinker.
Derek Carr and Amari Cooper. I'm going to root for them too. We're both going down in the ship on that one, hopefully. Maybe not. Okay, we got the Bills at Miami, fresh off their win against Pittsburgh at home. The Bills.
I'll tell you what.
Bills are playing really well.
Bills are playing great, but you know what?
What?
I think Miami's going to...
You're going to take Miami.
I'm going to take Miami. I think they're going to carry the day. They look to me like offensively they can...
yeah, they look great.
They protect their quarterback. They can move the ball.
Miami looks great. That's why I'm taking the Bills.
The Bills, okay.
Because Miami looks
Hey, I root for the Bills. I lived in Buffalo. I like the Bills.
All right.
Give me a good game. These games aren't any good. Make it a good one.
Good.
Last game before we get through with this quarter, so make it a good one.
The 3-3 Ravens are playing the mighty Jets at home.
That's a horrible game, but we're going to do it.
The mighty Jets at home.
Believe it or not.
They're saying, who's going to start that game? Geno Smith?
Again, I'm going to reserve for that. Geno Smith starting that game? No,
we're looking at
definitely Geno Smith's going to start. I'll tell you what. Geno Smith starts. I'm going to pick the Jets. I'm going to pick the Jets.
Geno Smith starts.
If he doesn't, I'm picking the Jets.
I'm going to take the Ravens.
Ah, you would. I'll tell you what.
Because I want to be different.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And I don't believe in the
Jets. We got some more to pick. I'll tell you what. We've already shot through the third quarter. We're going to be back and get the 2-minute warning going. We're going to get back with the last quarter of shots on the bench right here at Gators Dockside right after this.
That's right.
So I asked for. We are back with the fourth and final quarter of shots from the bench here at Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. Gators Dockside, they got the tastiest sports in town. And you've got some more matchups for me for us. We do. Let's see if I can get over 500 this week. What do you got left for me?
Okay, well, we'll continue here. We're going to
continue.
Ready. We've already made some picks. But
I know.
This one here has the potential.
Don't soften it up.
This one here, I believe, is one of the best
Let me have
of
it
the
right,
weekend.
Between the eyes. Let me have it.
You don't want me to fool around. Just give it right to you.
Give it to me.
We got the Seahawks going into Arizona. That's going to be a game because you got both teams on the upslide playing really well again. Watch out for the Seattle Seahawks. They lost their first game. They won 4 in a row.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm just not sold on Arizona. I don't think their offense is very good.
Whoa.
And I don't think that Carson Palmer's very good. I think he's a little past his prime. Maybe I'm wrong.
He was one of the
I'm wrong. I know.
He was
Everybody, the power rankings. Power rankings
MVP
had Arizona as the top team in football. I think they're a mediocre team. My personal opinion.
Well, they're 3-3, but they started off slow out of the box.
Yeah.
And they've really played well the last couple of weeks.
So who are you picking?
Well, that's a tough one to pick. I didn't say I was picking the Cardinals.
Well, you certainly acted like it.
No. That's a good game.
If they're the greatest team in the league, then how can you pick against them?
Well, you know, when you have two evenly matched teams, you still got to pick a winner.
Ah, okay. Well, pick one.
I'm going to pick. That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
All you did was sing the praises of the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, no, I'm just saying they're a worthy opponent. Seahawks this week.
We'll see
at
where we're
home.
going with this.
All right, I'll go ahead and
Stay
take the
tuned.
Cardinals just for you.
Okay, not for me.
No,
It's
I'm
your
going
pick.
for you.
Your pick.
And you're going to take Seattle, of course.
Of course.
Can't wait.
I'm taking Seattle because I don't think the Cardinals are any good.
I'm going to be giving you a pirate.
All right.
Pirate on that
I'll
one.
take it. What else you
All right,
got?
we got the Bucks, the mighty Tampa Bay
Tampa
Bucks
Bay.
playing
They're
against the mighty San Francisco 49ers.
I hope
what
nobody.
a game.
I hope nobody watches that.
You think
game.
anybody will be in the stands for that one?
Oh yeah, somebody will be in the stands.
Yeah,
for-
somebody
Where
will.
is it?
At San Francisco. You're going to vote for Colin, right? You're going to give him a win? Colin Kaepernick?
I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I've got it too. I can't vote
That's
for
not. I'm not picking against Kaepernick. I just think Tampa Bay has a better
I
team.
am.
I know. Okay.
Okay, here's one that I think we might probably both agree on. San Diego
Yeah.
is playing at Atlanta Falcons.
At
The
Atlanta.
4-2 Falcons just
And-
had a close loss.
And well, they feel they got robbed.
To,
The Falcons feel they got robbed, and I think they're going to take it out on the Chargers.
I agree.
I
with
think
you.
the Chargers will score some points on Atlanta, but I don't think
Yep.
the Chargers have a defense that can stop the Falcons.
Right.
Falcons really look
Yep.
like Ryan looks. They're on all cylinders right now. So I'll take the Falcons.
And then here's another game that we both are going to agree on. I know we are. The 5-1 Patriots at the Steelers.
Yeah,
Landry Jones, you mentioned.
Landry
is
Jones ain't
scored.
going to get it done. And
Watch
I'm
him come up with a career game.
I'm a
Landry
lifelong
Jones.
Pittsburgh guy,
But I doubt
and
it.
I can tell you,
Not against the Patriots.
I picked the Steelers
Yeah.
losing to the Dolphins, and I pick them losing to the Patriots. Not because I hope they. So if they
Yeah.
win, who cares?
Right.
They're just not that good a team. The Steelers have absolutely no secondary. Not anybody in the defensive
Yeah.
secondary, and they got no pass rusher with Hayward out. It's
Yep.
going to be a 48-17 type game.
Okay. And then the last game coming up this weekend is the 4-2 Texans against the 4-2 Denver Broncos, and both of them look about a mirror image of each other.
You know what, though?
they're
I'm just
not
you,
impressive.
You know
even
who's
though they're
not
4-2.
impressing me at all is Brock
I know.
Osweiler.
Oh, he
He's-
makes terrible throws.
He's making some of the worst throws
Yeah.
I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
And I'm just thinking. I think Denver's.
Yep.
I think Denver's ready to kick it into gear and get back.
They find a way to win, Houston. You know, they beat Indianapolis. That's not saying much, but they find a way to win.
Yeah. Well,
versus Denver finds
I-
a way to lose lately.
I
it
think
seems.
Denver's going to beat them.
I think Denver's going to win at home.
That's yep.
I think you're right at
Yeah,
home.
put my-
Uh,
How about them
I'm
apples?
gonna go ahead and if they weren't at home, if they were in Houston, I probably would have taken Houston.
And if my picks are wrong, I'll deny I ever made them.
Yeah.
So
So we'll see how.
there's
it
no
goes.
proof. There's no proof I made them.
That's it. What else we got?
Well, something I wanted to bring up to
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
I got a few rants that I want to get
good,
into,
good.
but the one I wanted to mention, and this is at the back page of newspapers, but it stands to reason. There's a guy that plays on the tennis circuit. He's on the tour.
Oh, I know who you're going to talk about.
Nick Kyrgios.
Yep.
I've watched Nick Kyrgios play an awful lot of tennis, and the
Yep.
guy is. I'm going to
very
call him the Odell Beckham of tennis.
Yeah, right.
He is
Oh.
so good, but he is so bad for the sport.
Right.
I've never seen a guy look more disinterested in what he's doing. He doesn't care about. He's been given gifts that maybe 5 people in the world have as the gifts that he has,
Oh, he's
and
a
he just goes out
tremendous
and
talent.
doesn't care. You
Right.
can tell the way he plays. He intentionally hits balls out. I just.
We just got suspended. You know.
Well,
that,
he got
right?
suspended for 8 matches, but that's nothing. You know what? He's going to get commercials. He's
Well,
going to be on
been
everybody.
linked
He's
to-
going to be on the. He'll put him on the camera on the cover of some
I think
magazine.
he's ranked. What
He'll
is he
be on
ranked
the.
number 10 in the world?
Oh, he's
somewhere?
got to be in the top 10. The guy is so good, it's ridiculous.
You can't. You got to be
I watched
very,
the guy
very, very
play,
good to be that.
but
ranked,
he's
you know.
totally without merit. What he's.
Well, some people think that he's, linked with organized crime.
Why?
Throwing matches and
Well,
throwing
let's
points.
put it this way: he just doesn't care about any match he
knows?
plays in.
Right.
I-
But he's a head case. I mean, it's unfortunate,
He's
but
fined.
that's what he is.
Fined $25,000 for conduct contrary to the integrity of tennis, and you give him an 8 match suspension, and he's fined for behavior contrary to the integrity of the sport. Didn't that get Pete Rose?
What's an 8-match suspension? Is that just one tournament? Because you could have played 8 matches?
It's 2 months. It's 2 months.
It's every first-round match? Every first-round match you can't play?
Well,
is that what
I'm
8
just
matches
saying,
is?
no, he's just, you know what, and you're never going to hear him speak out because the guy's got absolutely
They
nothing
might as
to
well just say 8 tournaments because
No,
you can't play
it's
in
just-
any match.
I saw that, and I know you're a tennis buff, but I just thought, because I used to watched him play in
he's a tremendous
quarters
player.
of some match, and I thought,
Big guy.
if this guy is so
Well, he's argumentative, too.
unwatchable, I mean,
Unsportsmanlike. He gets into fights almost every
he
match.
should be the guy that you
Umpire
want to see
questioning
play.
calls.
He's so good,
Yeah.
but after you watch him for 3 games, you go, this guy's making a mockery of everything.
If he
he's
could
not
just play,
trying.
if he
He
could just
doesn't
concentrate.
care.
Yeah.
He serves. He'll serve a ball and he serves it in the net. He'll have the next ball up in the air and he's serving it before any. I mean, the other balls, the ball kids the ball boys are running out and to get the balls out of the net, and he's already serving the ball again. I mean,
That's right.
he's a clown. You
Right.
can't do that. So
Yeah,
my-
they're
my
afraid of him,
personal
too, the ball
opinion.
boys.
Well,
But,
they gotta be. But that just bothers me. And I'll tell you what. While we'll get off that rant and go on to another rant. And I
Okay.
had this rant with Greg, and I think you'll like this one because.
Okay.
And it's what we called, and Greg, you remember this, the categorization now of statistics. There are so many games now that these guys doing the games have to pull out statistics. Well, you know, they're 2-9 every other Thursday when they're on the West Coast after 6 o'clock at night. I think, who are you impressing with this information? And I don't think it makes them look like they're trivial to me.
Yeah.
I find these fonts of information, you know.
Well, they got to be right.
Hey.
They might hit it right once by accident. You know, like Corey Grubner tonight. He's playing against the. I agree with you on most of them but they get lucky. Like tonight, Corey Grubner is 1-3.
How many games has
Yeah.
Kluber pitched? I don't care if he's pitched 15 in his career.
Yeah.
It's still too small a sample. That's
I
not.
know.
You can't say, well, he's 7.
They just try to give you something to look
It's
at,
ridiculous.
to fill the
Well, that's what I mean.
airwaves.
I just find it totally
Oh, yeah.
tiresome. But there are so
A
many
lot of them are
games
stupid,
now,
yeah.
and you have to go so many different ways with
Yep.
it. And we were talking about that. I just find that to be totally unforgiving to say, well, he's 3 for 11. Well, you know, he's been up against him 3 times, but you know, and it's always on the West Coast, and it's always east of the Mississippi, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
He can't
I
pitch
think-
well at night
I said,
on
please,
Thursdays.
Please,
But he pitches well at night on Mondays.
Yeah. I get my chance to go into my little rant again.
Yeah,
The worst
I know.
thing, 2 things
Those
in
are
sports that I hate.
Yes.
The minimization now of the pitch counts to where everybody now can't pitch more than 6 innings. And also this, along the line, somebody called a timeout and somebody missed a field goal. Now that is every game. And Greg, I'm looking at you. You know this. You can't. There's no way to prove the guy wrong. Okay,
You know-
I have 2 timeouts left, and they're going to kick a field goal. Let's call a timeout. Let's call another timeout. And the guy makes it. And you go, okay, what happened? The fact of the matter is, there's no way to tell. Maybe guys are making it more because you took 2 out. No,
it's okay.
I'm going. I'm
All right.
on
We'll make
a
it through.
rant
We'll
here.
make it through. We'll make it through.
Well, you've ducked me on these things, so go ahead. Tell me where I'm wrong.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right.
You're fine.
I'm-
We have 2 minutes.
I can take a breath and go up. Okay, let's talk about pitcher counts. Let's talk about how every pitcher in the major leagues can't
on the
pitch more than
pitching count-
6 innings. You've got to have your 7th
I have a
inning
take
guy.
on the pitcher count. I have a take on the
Okay,
pitcher
let's hear it.
I don't like to see it either. I hate seeing my best pitcher coming out in the 6th inning. But pitchers today are throwing 98, 100 miles an hour with incredible torque.
Yeah.
They're throwing. If you ever see it in slow motion, how in the world your arm can go in that position time in and time again for 90, 100 pitches? I don't know.
Yeah.
But back in the day, no one threw that kind of velocity and had that much torque and abuse to their shoulder and their arm. I guess that could be a possible reason. I don't know.
I think I blame
I
Tony La
certainly
Russa. This is
there's
my Tony
never
La
been-
Russa.
no one's ever thrown
He
like
was
this before.
successful having a 7th inning guy come
Yeah.
in, and an 8th inning guy, and then a 9th inning guy, and closes as well as I do.
Yeah.
Players get into slumps. You want to blow blow 4 games in a row. Put your closer, who is in a slump,
Yeah.
in the 9th inning.
Sure.
Ask
They're so worried about
Goose
pitchers.
Gossage. Goose Gossage used to pitch 3 innings Tuesday night, 2 innings Thursday night, 1 inning
sure.
Friday night. He said, but now you can't. What, you can't put your closer in the
You see a
8th
guy
inning?
like Bartolo Colon who doesn't throw the high velocity. Man, they could use him almost every day because the guy just throws it up there and he's nice and relaxed. And he throws the ball. It's moving. It's curving. He has no really strong torque on his arm. And he's in, what is he, like 40 years old or more?
He's over than that.
43.
I'll tell you
44.
what. Do I read your signals right, Greg? We are out of time, and I'm sorry. The rant took up some time, but I had to do it.
It was a good rant, though.
That was a good rant, and great picks. I'll do better than
The
7
fans
and
are on
8.
their feet here.
Fans,
Thank you.
they've left. They're on their feet because they've left. But I'll tell you what. We appreciate you paying attention. We will be back next Tuesday, 6 o'clock, Gators Dockside in Brownwood. Come over and join us. Come join us. We'll get you in on the conversation. And we appreciate everybody's time. For Bob Murphy, this is Bob Wiltman. Thanks so much, and we will see you next week with another edition of Shots from the Bench. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Hate Tony La Russa.
Yeah.